Are you one of the many of Madden fans who were disappointed with the franchise mode in Madden 23, Madden 22, and previous years? I hear you. That's why I've compiled a comprehensive wish list of improvements and new features that I believe will take Madden 24 franchise mode to the next level. With better scouting options, realistic contract negotiations, and a more immersive team management system, Madden 24 could be the game we've all been waiting for. So join me as I dive deep into the biggest shortcomings of Madden 23 and explore the potential of what could be the best franchise mode yet. Get ready to take your team to the top. So before I begin, real quick guys, I'm sorry about my voice. I actually just got over a quick little couple days sickness, so I'm still kind of recovering from that, but I'm gonna get right into it, so I hope the voice isn't too much of a problem. But we as a community want hella features, so we're not just going to talk about how we need more draft picks to trade. We want more trade slots, the ability to trade more than 2 years worth of picks, and even the option to retire numbers. And let's talk about the importance of coaches in the game. You want actual uses for head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinators to make our teams truly stand out. But it's not just about the coaches. The CPU GM AI needs a serious upgrade, and the player AI needs to be improved as well. And let's not forget about the better contract management system that we need, new features for CPU versus CPU franchises, ability limits, and the option to watch games. These are all features in this wish list that I will be explaining on how they can make the game better. Let me know down in the comment section if you agree or disagree with any of these features and features that you want added. So let's dive in. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is more trade slots. Honestly, I believe the first thing that Madden 24 really needs to have is just more trade slots. I will never understand why we only have 3 trade slots. It doesn't make sense because it makes it harder to actually do blockbuster trades or really simple trades that could literally probably need one more 7th round pick, but I can't add it. Even 2K has 6 trade slots. 2K even has the option to do 3-team trades, which is fucking awesome. Why doesn't Madden have something like this? And not to mention that they actually blueballed us and got us excited for something that wasn't gonna come. Literally guys, they said in a previous year, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I'm like 99% sure in the trailer for the franchise mode when they were talking about all the franchise stuff that was gonna come to Madden 23, they literally said that there was going to be more trade slots, at least up to 6. And lo and behold, it's still 3. So I think one of the biggest things that Madden needs to add in general is more trade slots. So moving on and still being on the same track is the ability to trade more than 2 years worth of draft picks. This was another thing that Madden blueballed us on. They literally said that we're going to be able to trade up to 4 years worth of draft pick, which again would have just allowed us to make more realistic trades and blockbuster trades, because you could have traded 3 first-round picks for somebody that you really actually needed. Lo and behold, we can still only trade 2. So again, I think that there needs to be more trade slots, and we need to be able to trade more than just 2 years worth of draft picks. So the next thing that I really want added is the ability to create your own team or relocating. But it's something that has the possibility of actually coming into Madden 24. But when we're relocating, I honestly just think that they should have the ability for us to create everything. Really, 2K has it so you could create your own team, which is fucking dope. Again, Madden doesn't have it. It would be so dope if even if they kept the same stadiums when relocated and then the same options that they have, but one of the options was to start over and create your new team. So you could create a logo, you could create a color scheme, you could create unis, you could create a stadium and actually like color the stadium, which would be so fucking dope. I honestly really think so. So the next thing are retire numbers in the trophy case for awards. So they go hand in hand, I believe. So for the trophy case for awards, I think this would be really dope. So it doesn't have to actually be a room per se or a whole nother system. Honestly, I think what would be really cool is if, for example, when you click stats and awards, it goes into a new screen. If you click trophy case, it goes into a new screen. It's kind of just a panorama video that goes around the room to show all your retired jersey numbers, who last wore that jersey, or whatever name that you want to put on that jersey. and also all the awards that you have as a GM or a coach. Maybe you're a coach and you get Coach of the Year trophy, or Lombardi trophies, so you can actually see all the Lombardi trophies that you have. I know they kind of have this when you're playing as a coach, but I like to play as a GM a lot, and there's no way to see your Lombardi trophy. So I feel like this would be super dope. And retire numbers. I'm a Colts fan. I want to be able to retire number 18, 28 when JT retires in leagues that I have. Reggie Wayne's number, Dwight Freeney's number, different numbers like this. And you really can't. When you draft rookies, free agents, a lot of times they'll just pick up any number, and sometimes they do pick up those numbers. So I believe it would be really cool to actually have a system where you could just retire those numbers so nobody could get it. And even if they add a limit on how many numbers you could retire, say 10, there's still literally 89 other numbers to pick from. So why can't we actually retire numbers? It'd be a dope feature in my opinion. So another big thing that I think they should do is have actual uses for the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator. Not using any skill points anymore. Take away the skill points and completely build this shit from the ground up. So for example, they have predetermined skills or make a certain aspect of the team better. So say for example, you get a offensive minded head coach. So maybe for an offensive minded head coach, they're also good at quarterback development. So your quarterbacks develop faster, your quarterbacks maybe slightly do a little bit better, or just get more reps, kind of like a mentor, but they have their predetermined skills. Same with the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. Maybe the offensive coordinator likes to run the ball a lot. So your offensive run game, maybe you call more run plays, or maybe you perform better when you're doing a run. And on the defensive side of the ball, the same thing. And this, I believe, would also allow us to actually need to think about what we're doing and who we're signing as an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Because as of right now, we could hire anybody and then just use skill points to upgrade them, which is kind of lame and boring. And I also believe having to pay them would also be really, really cool. For example, if they win, or your offensive is the best in the league, defense is the best in the league, and it's a contract year, maybe they want a little bit more. I just think that this would be so fucking dope. And then when we need more people, or when we need more coordinators in the game, they just randomly generate with random skill sets, the same as rookies do. I just think that this would be a much better system as opposed to the skill points, because the skill points are so easily abused, honestly, unrealistic in my opinion. So we're kind of approaching the end. I have a few more, maybe like 6 more, but let me know down in the comment section if you agree or disagree with any of these yet. So the next thing is a better CPU GM AI. So I'm somebody that really likes CPU versus CPU franchises. So another thing is just having better CPU GM AI and player AI. I'm somebody that really likes CPU versus CPU franchises. For me, it just allows me to watch games when the actual season or actual games aren't on. I can just pop on that game when I'm busy around the house and doing stuff, watch my team, manage my team, and actually still am able to be productive while still kind of having fun on the game per se. So I just believe the AI could be so much better for these situations. So for example, for the GMs, I want CPUs to make trades. I want them to rebuild stadiums, request trades, relocate. For the players, I want them to request trades, or they get frustrated based on how they're used. I want them to say, hey, I'm not being used in this offensive scheme. I want to request a trade. I just think that would be so fucking cool. Or if CPU GMs randomly made a blockbuster trade, so now you fucking see Joe Burrow on the fucking Patriots or something like that. That would never happen, but that's just an example I just gave randomly. I just feel like CPUs don't make really any trades, if any, so they could really make the AI so much better, especially with how machine learning is going and AI is going. Honestly, if they tried, I feel like they can make the fucking AI in this game so amazing. Another one is better contract management. Why is the contract system so buggy? I'll give them props. They did do a little better this year with the interest and all of that stuff, but honestly, it's kind of still not it. If they added if they added the ability to restructure contracts year by year structure, or even actually adding no trade clauses so we couldn't trade that player, or if that player actually had designated teams that he wanted to go to, then we could trade him to that team. Honestly, I feel like that would be so dope. And again, it would make the whole franchise mode so much more immersive and so much more better. So we're getting to the last three, which is again better features for CPU versus CPU franchises. Right now, for viewing a game, we just have one view, which you're seeing now. It would be so dope if we could have different views, maybe a sideline view, maybe an overhead view, maybe a locked on player view or something like that, or maybe a sweep view. I just feel like we should be able to change the camera view to match how we really want to watch that game. It could help with different calls, being able to call challenge plays. And honestly, it would be so dope, and me and my friends always talk about this, if maybe we even called the plays, not running the plays, but we're actually able to call the plays. So for example, say my team is 4th and 1, they ask, what do you want to do? Do you want to go for it? Do you want to run the ball? Even if you can add that, if we want to say, I want to pass the ball in this situation, punt the ball in this situation, kick this field goal, run it, go for it. Even something simple as that would be dope. But even taking it a step further, actually being able to call the actual design play that we run, and then that AI runs it, would be so dope. And to pair with this, a better sim engine. Right now, the only way to actually take into account, a lot of people don't know this, is you actually have to watch those games. So when you're actually using your sliders, you have to watch those games. If you just sim, it's completely random. Sliders take no effect. I actually probably have to make a video about this. Those sliders do not matter whatsoever. If you're simming week by week, or if you go in and fast sim, it doesn't matter. The only way to get those sliders is to actually watch those games. So a way to fix this is to just have a better sim engine. Make sliders work even for fast simming guys, or even for just simming week by week. It would just allow players to choose how they want to play. Do I want to sim this week? Do I want to watch this week? Who knows? I'm feeling this type of way. You could know that those sliders are still taken to effect. The last two are having ability limit in franchise, or not even having abilities, but they have the traits so that they still get XP. So my boy Formula Dinero, Formula Bands actually gave me this idea, and this is something because they play MUT. There's ability limits in Madden Ultimate Team, so teams aren't too OP. So why not in franchise mode? A lot of times the franchise mode, whether you're playing CPU versus CPU, or player versus player, or player versus CPU, teams can be stacked with X factors and stars and superstars. So why not just have an ability limit that teams can't go over? It would make it so much more realistic and better. And I'll take it a step further and just say, for franchise mode, they'll have an option to remove the abilities, which they do. Quote me if I'm wrong. However, if you remove those abilities, they still don't keep the traits. So everybody is a normal per se, and they don't get those traits. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comment section. But if I'm right, honestly, I feel like a cool fix for this too would be to, when you turn that option off, they each keep the same trait. So an X factor is still an X factor, a star is still a star, and a superstar is still a superstar. However, they have no abilities, but they still get the same XP that they would have if they did have abilities. So the final thing would be to being able to watch games that are being played either by user versus user or CPU versus CPU games. I think that would be so dope. So for example, say I finish my games in either one of these leagues and I want to watch something else. Say for player versus player, if I have Formula Bands and Formula Dinero playing each other, I could tune into that game without actually having to join a party with them and starting to share play. If I see that game going on, I could just click a button on the Madden franchise that says watch the game, spectate. Call of Duty has spectating, Apex has spectating, a lot of games has spectating, so why not this? I think it would be so dope if they actually added this feature. And for CPU versus CPU games, say there's like a CPU game I really want to watch, or a team that I really need to scout so I can see how to build my team around, I could watch their game and watch those two teams' AIs play. I honestly think this would just be so much cooler than just having a sim and see who wins. But let me know down in the comment section what you think. This was my exhaustive list of Madden 24 franchise features that I really hope they add. Honestly, they'll probably add only 2 or 3 features from this list. I really have no faith in Madden or EA. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, until they get competition, literally this game isn't gonna get any better. For those who stuck around to the end, I really appreciate that with all of my heart. But if you guys stuck to the end and you want to see more videos by me, you can click the video on the left to see another franchise video by me. And if you want to actually see other content that I make, you can click the video on the right. I love you guys. We just hit 1 fucking K. So thank you guys. I'm so happy. I love you guys to the moon and back. I'm out. Peace.